Thank you, everybody, for joining us this morning. We have a really good turnout, which is great. And I see a few more people still joining us. I think I have 64 people on the meeting right now. So today we wanted to get you guys together and have a pipeline session. And the pipeline session is really focused on the Journal Square building. The developer's Josh Jeffers on this. The architect is EUA. And it's there's two projects. There's a phase 1, which is a 1962 building, and a phase 2, which is a 1924 building. And we'll talk a little more in detail about these projects during this presentation. So what we wanted to do today is just make an introduction of our team from C.G. Schmidt. And then we also wanted to, we have some other special guests we'll introduce, and we'll kind of talk a little bit about the different people that are on the call. And then we'll also talk further about how we can make different connections with all the SBE companies that we have. We'll also have Bryce talk a little bit about the SBE and RPP program. And then really what we want to do is get you guys some information on the projects so we can understand your capacity and how you can fit in on this project. And then also make some connections. If you're a prime contractor, kind of what the next steps are for that. And if you would be maybe teaming with a different prime contractor, how we would make those connections. So that's kind of what we want to accomplish today. But before we get going, we just have some housekeeping items, and Kristen mentioned a few of these already. But what we'd like to do is, if everyone can stay muted unless they're talking, that way we don't have some of that backfeed and things like that. If you want to share your video, that's great. Then we can see who you all are. And then what we'd like to do with this is there's a command on your toolbar where you can raise your hand. And after we go through each section, we'll just ask if there's any questions. If someone raised their hand, we'll give them the opportunity to ask that question. So we'll kind of do that throughout the presentation after each presenter finishes instead of waiting for those at the end. There is also, a show conversation a button that you can press if you have a question there. But I think what we prefer is just press to raise your hand, and then we'll get your question answered right away. So that's kind of some of the different features there. Is everyone kind of hopefully pretty familiar with Teams and the mute and turning your camera on and off, and then that it's basically a hand icon that you press if you have a question? Tends to work pretty well. All right, I think we're all good with that. All right, so why don't we go to the next slide. All right. So before we get going here, I just wanted to just briefly talk a little bit about C.G. Schmidt. I know a lot of you guys are already familiar with our firm, but a little bit about us. We've been building in Wisconsin since 1920. This year is our 100-year anniversary, which is pretty exciting. Unfortunately, because of COVID and everything else, we can't really celebrate a lot. So we'll do some of that next year. We're a family-owned company. We're in our 5th generation. We're a full-service construction manager, $1 billion capacity. And an award that we're proud of, and I think it's worth mentioning, is we've been voted 11 times in a row the best places to work. And we think that's, that's an important thing to have employees that are engaged and happy. And, we really see that they provide really high level customer service to our clients and to our subcontractors. We're also a 2020 largest Milwaukee builder, 2020 top 400 contractors. And we're happy to be doing this project that's in the community where we live and work, and also building a project with Josh Jeffers. So I wanted to just introduce a couple of special guests we have here. We have some people from METC on the call, and this project is going to be dormitories for METC students, the first phase, the 1962. We also have representatives from WRTP Big Step, and they'll be speaking after I'm done, talking a little bit about how they can help with the RPP program. We also have local unions 113, 139. And I'm not sure if they're able to join us, but the City of Milwaukee Office of Small Business Development may also be on the call. And then we have the Milwaukee Buildings and Trades Council. And then a few other people as well. We have Amanda from Josh Jeffers representing the developer on this project. And then EUA is the architect on the project. So kind of our team at CG Schmidt. So during the pre-construction phase, myself, Dan Shavanik, I'm the project executive on this project and also leading the pre-con, and then Sam Jekyll as well as leading the pre-construction phase of this project. Then when we transition into construction, we have the project manager, which is Dan Director, and then we have Steve Benitez as the superintendent. And then we have a few other people here as well that will be supporting us on this project. So we have Brian Medina, who is our MEP project manager and VDC manager. And then we have Chris McGuire, who is our electrical and low voltage project manager. So that is our team. And then I did also want to mention, a few other people. We have a lot of people on the call, 73 people, and some of the different trades that are represented here. We have concrete, masons, carpentry, we have cleaning companies, demo companies, waterproofing, glazing. We also have HVAC, HVAC, electrical, and a few others as well. So we got a lot of different trades that are represented by the SBE companies on this call today. We go to the next one.
Do we have any questions? No? Good.
Okay, so next I'd like to introduce Jacob Walton. He's a project manager from WRTP Big Step, and he's going to be a resource for us and his organization to help with just finding different field personnel, apprentices, and people that can help meet that RPP requirement for this project. So Jacob, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello again. My name is Jacob Walton. I'm here representing WRTP Big Step. And what we are here at WRTP Big Step is a workforce intermediary and a apprenticeship readiness organization that is here in the Milwaukee area, the Racine area, in Madison. So we do have 3 different offices and staff at all 3 of those offices are able to help with workforce development requirements. WRTP Big Steps work directly with employers and unions to meet specific and timely goals of the construction industry, whether it's community certifications or being the one-stop shop for apprenticeship. We are here to help you guys with your project and here to help you with any workforce development needs that you may have potentially. We have a number of different training programs, whether it be our ongoing apprenticeship readiness program where we tutor, case manage, and get application information. So guys and girls are able to actually be taken on and get on the trade list with their respective union halls, or our training programs where we are doing safety training, OSHA 30, and we are a certified provider for the WIS.Trans Road Building Program. So we have a number of individuals training under our trans programs and a number of individuals with us that are seeking to begin their careers in the skilled trades. Next slide. Specifically for RPP, and what RPP stands for is the Residential Preference Program. If you do have community workforce development needs, whether there be RPP, COIN, or any of the other certifications such as Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewage District and their target area worker certification program, or the specific residential preference program, or the communities in needs program, we're going to be able to help you at WRTP Big Step. Those certification programs are specific to the city of Milwaukee. And for this project, I believe there are going to be workforce development requirements. So if you do need assistance in meeting any of those requirements, please contact WRTP Big Step. We are the certifying agency for, again, all of those respective certifications. But then again, you can send your individuals directly to us, appointment or not, we'll be able to actually get them certified here at WRTP Big Step. We do ask that in order to get the certifications here at WRTP Big Step, that an individual be underemployed and a city of Milwaukee resident. In reference to the underemployment, they have to either have not worked in the past 15 days or work less than 1,200 hours in the past 12 months. And when you send your individuals to us, we'll be able to screen them and let them know whether they qualify or don't qualify. The application process is extremely simple. We actually have an online application process, so you or the participant can begin the application process before even coming to WRTP Big Step to be certified. But once you actually are certified, all you need is 2 pieces of mail verifying your residency from the past 30 days, and we're able to certify any of the eligible applicants. So again, we look forward to connecting with you on any of your workforce development needs. If you have any apprenticeship needs, please let us know, and we look forward to being a good partner to CG Schmidt and the rest of you. If there are any questions, please, I'll take them now.
All right. Well,
Great. If there are no questions, then I will go ahead and turn this over to Bryce Unger. He's the managing director for CG Schmidt, and he will talk a little bit more about the project specifically.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you, Jacob, for that that talk on RTP. So my name is Bryce Unger. Really my specialty on this project is my connection to our overall corporate diversity program, as well as everything that I've done down at Northwestern Mutual in engaging a very similar program to very similar to what it is that is going to be happening on this project. So I'll be working alongside the project team throughout the process. So just a comment about WRTP and also the building trades and all the locals that are online right now. What I saw on the Northwestern Mutual project was this synergy between the contracting community, which many of you out there are the contracting community, the WRTP, and then also the building trades to provide that workforce that's necessary and really engage the city through apprenticeship and all of those other programs that will be a part of this. So thank you for WRTP and all the building trades and the locals that will help provide that labor. So what I'd like to do is just stop for a moment and kind of say, why are we here today? So in the program, this is really part 2 of the process. So what we've done, and part of why you're here, is that we've gone out and we've broadcasted the opportunity to engage in the process to a whole different, through a series of different journals, and to, try to spread the word as far and as wide as we could. Because while I see a lot of familiar faces as I look across the almost 75 people that are online, there's many people that I don't know, that we haven't had the chance to work with, and we want to create those opportunities. So that's really what this is about. It's the first engagement step where you can actually see what's coming up in the project, see when things are going to be happening, see what some of the requirements are, so that you can get it on your radar, start planning, and help increase the opportunity that you have to become a part of the project. So in terms of the program, I did see Nikki Purvis joined us. So welcome, Nikki, from the City of Milwaukee, the Office of Small Business Development. So I put on the typical requirements of the City of Milwaukee. So that is the process that we'll be following. So those are here. So whether that's SBE, the professional services, RPP, which we just heard about, there's a living wage requirement. There will also be LCP tracker. If some of you have done that, that's how the workforce gets tracked throughout the process. And then there's also an apprenticeship requirement that'll be all wrapped up into the program. So those are all things that more details will come out about, but those are all things that you should begin planning for now and want to be part of the process.
Yeah, he's a guest. I think that's what I'm here right here.
Whoever's Mr. Steve Buffalo, could you please mute?
I'm sorry.
Thank you. All right. So next slide is really about knowing how you fit. So in the process, it's really like a puzzle piece. And so there's 4 key ways that you can all fit into the process. So the first way is as a prime contract. So that'd be working directly for CG Schmidt. And we'll talk a little bit more in a moment about pre-qualification for that. But that is a real opportunity, and we'd like to find those opportunities for you to engage directly with us as a company. There are professional services opportunities. There's also tier subcontractor opportunities that are good to be thinking about. It's important to know both for the tier and the vendor opportunities, you don't necessarily have to go through our pre-qualification process. But those are all the different levels of opportunities. And so really right now it's about thinking about what is your perfect shape or piece of the puzzle and how can you engage in the project? How can we create that best opportunity for you to do that? So that's what we want you to be thinking about, excuse me. And also we'd love to hear back from you to have you tell us what you think that is so that we can understand that as we'll talk a little bit more in the details of the project itself. You'll hear about how we've started to break down into some smaller packages so they aren't just these huge, gigantic packages to engage with so that you have those prime opportunities. So, but if there are other possibilities, we want to hear from you. So that's a really important feedback loop and something to keep open. So if we can go to the next slide. So this is really about pre-qualification. I just would like to let you know that, so we don't want pre-qualification to be a barrier. In the past, some people perceive pre-qualification as a barrier. It's not. It's not necessarily easy. Of course, whenever you fill out all these forms that we all live in this virtual world, you know, all of that is kind of difficult, but you can get through it. So this is a little bit of how, and then also how you can get further assistance if you need to. So you go to cgschmidt.com. So you'll see in kind of the, you know, that's the web page on the right side of your screen there. So just type in cgschmidt.com. You'll see a resources section, which is highlighted if you can really squint and look at it. It's over on the right-hand side there. And then you scroll down to subcontractor pre-qualification and you click here, and then that'll take you to a web page called Building Connected. So that's the web page that's in the lower right part of your screen. And there you hit the continue button, and that is our program that we use to interact with all of the bidding community. So that's really important that you understand what that program is and be able to engage in that program so that you can download all the information. And there's other ways that we can get information to you because we want to make sure you have opportunity to see the information. But that is that's the way to get the most current, the best information. So if possible, that's the way we like you to follow through. And if you get stuck in that process, you'll see on the left-hand side, there's a contact there, Nicole Birschbach. She works with CG Schmidt, and she really leads up that pre-qualification process. So if you are going through that and you have a difficulty, she's the one to talk to. And then also I'd like to say is, let's say you get denied, all right? So if that were to happen, we want to understand why that happened and maybe how we can shape the piece of the puzzle differently so that you don't have to get denied in pre-qualification, because that's not, you need to reach a certain level of qualification for certain shapes of the puzzle. So we want to make opportunities and not have it be a barrier. That's really, really important, that you don't just stop when you say, oh, it didn't work out. So continue to look for those opportunities, different ways to engage. You can engage with tier trades without going through the pre-qualification process, through the vendor process. There's all sorts of creative ways. So stay creative, stay after it, and we really want to encourage you to be a part of the project. So now I want to end my kind of general talk, and then I'd like Dan, Director, to really get into some of the project specifics. So go ahead, Dan.
All right, thank you, Bryce. All right, so our project is located right in the heart of downtown Milwaukee. We are on 333 West State Street. We're next to Wisconsin Avenue, the Convention Center, right across the street from Fiserv Forum. We basically, as I mentioned before, there's two phases of our project here. The first phase is the 1962 building. That used to be the press area of the Journal building. And that's going to be converted into about 83 affordable student housing apartments for MATC, along with some academic support facilities for them. And then the second phase is in the 1924 building. That's the original office building. That will also get converted into about 130 market rate apartments with residential amenities and underground parking. construction timeline for the first phase of the project, we're looking to start with abatement and demo in September, so next month. The structure and shell will get started in the October-November timeframe, and we'll be getting into the interior build out come December 1st of the year. Project is to be complete by the end of July for phase 1. And phase 2 is currently in design phase right now. We're looking to start construction about mid-February, and that project will finish a little bit later in 2021. I'm going to turn it over now to Sam Jekyll. She's kind of our pre-con manager, and she can give us more details on the bidding and timeline.
Hello, everyone. So at this point, I'd like to kind of take this off on how we get involved specifically in this project, and breaking off of how Bryce explained our different puzzle pieces here. We have 3 really big ways for contractors to get involved with the project. First would be looking to partner with a MEPF prime for fire protection, plumbing, HVAC, or electrical. Second way, looking to partner with another prime subcontractor. And we're looking for this group to let us know what your interests and what your capabilities are, so that we can reach out and help to foster some of those partnership connections if you are looking to work with a prime subcontractor. And then our last puzzle piece here, looking to bid a work category as a prime subcontractor. So this is where we would have you work to complete the pre-qualification process that Bryce talked about, and work to have you bid a section of the project as an independent contractor with us. Again, looking for some feedback after this meeting on what scopes you would be interested in if you would like to go down this path. We'll make sure that we work with you to complete that pre-qualification and get you added into our bid invite for those scopes. Next slide. Our 1962 building is phase 1 of this project, and the bidding timeline for that portion of the project is up right here. Today we're kicking this off with our pipeline session. Our bid documents will be released via the building connected software, the same software that you complete your pre-qualifications in. Also, Bryce mentioned, is the software that we do all of our bid interactions with. Those documents will really be released next week, September 2nd. We will be hosting a pre-bid walkthrough for those who want to walk through the building, want to put their eyes on the project. That'll be September 9th, time to be determined. Once that time is figured out, that notification will go out through the building connected software, so everybody's aware of what time that will be. And bids will be due for the project on September 16th for all of our currently bidding work categories. Next slide. So right now, these are the work categories that we are including in this bid package. So you can see here, there are a lot of opportunities for engagement at both the prime subcontractor level and a tiered subcontractor level. Based upon these, we do have some of these that can be broken down even further into smaller packages. A really good example of this is the carpentry package. Very often we will break this down into individual scopes of work within the carpentry scope to help facilitate more engagement on the process across a diverse range of subcontractors. Go to the next slide, please. On the 1962 portion of the project, we will also have some work categories that bid out in the future. On the Stevie Schmidt side, we will have construction cleaning and window washing, which will go out for formal bid later on in the process when we get closer to those scopes of work needing to happen on the project. So you could see those coming out sometime next year. Then we also have some work categories that will come out through the owner for their FF&E items that we will be working to create packages for great involvement on as well. So some of those packages that will be coming out through the owner include furnish installed bike racks, mailboxes, the appliance package, window coverings, interior signage, and then some larger packages for providing furnishings for student housing furniture, as well as furnishings for the common areas and amenities. Next slide, please. So coming out of this session, we've thrown a lot of information at you here today. We wanted to give you just one place to kind of summarize and say what our next steps are moving forward here. So after this session, we will send out an email to all the meeting participants with an involvement survey. And we'd love to have you complete that survey. And what that's going to do is that's going to trigger us where you think you best fit in the project with us. And then we can reach out to you and work to connect you down the right path on the project, whether you're looking to partner with another prime subcontractor or you're looking to bid a full work category package. This involvement survey is what gives us the information on indicating what you're most interested in and what you think your best fit in the puzzle is. For anyone who is interested in bidding as a prime subcontractor, we strongly recommend that you hop on looking at that CG Schmidt pre-qualification right away and work on completing that. And we will be here through that process as well. So if there are any questions throughout that, as Bryce said, do not hesitate to ask and do not hesitate to reach out for help with that process. For those of you who are looking to connect with a prime subcontractor, once we receive your survey back, what we will do is we will go through the prime subcontractors that are invited, will be invited to bid on the project, and look to make those personal connections between you and those other contractors, and set up times for you to meet with them personally and have a chance to discuss with them scopes of work, etc. As always, the CG Schmidt website will be a great source of information. This is where the pre-qualification is, as Bryce pointed out. We'll also be posting a video of today's session to our website. So if there's something in here that you write down weird on your notes or you forget something, feel free to pop back onto the website, review the video. It'll all be there. You can watch it as many times as you want in case you need to double check something. With that, I do want to turn it over for any questions. If you could click on the hand icon if you have a question, and we'll kind of take them in turn, because if everybody turns their mic on at the same time, we're going to get a lot of feedback. And for those of you on the phone who do not have the hand icon, I'll just ask you to jump in cautiously if you have a question. Jody Landgraf.
I'm assuming all the insurance requirements that are needed for the job will be on your website then? Is that correct?
Yes, the insurance requirements for the job are included in our front end manual for the project. And Bryce, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe a sample set of our contract is available to review on the website that would also have our insurance requirements included in it.
Yes, we do have our typical company insurance requirements. Sometimes there can be specific project insurance requirements. So make sure to look at the actual project manual when it comes out. But there is our typical corporate insurance requirements that are on the website that you can view today.
Chris Oleg.
Yes, you had mentioned earlier that about the abatement going on this project. Who would be holding that agreement, and what contractor has been awarded the abatement?
Dan, can you jump in here? I'm having computer issues.
No problem. This is Dan Chavanek with CG Schmed. So right now, Balstory is doing the testing. We haven't necessarily awarded the next phase of that, the abatement. Right now, the client would hold that, is holding that contract. And I think it's probably going to stay that way. Amanda, I don't know if you're still on the line, but I'm assuming Josh Jeffers would hold the abatement contract. Well, I don't think Amanda's available right now, but like I said, right now testing is Balstory, and then we're still going to price the actual abatement of asbestos, lead paint, any other items that need to be hazardous material that would need to be removed.
Dan, if you do need a list of contractors as well, we can provide you with a list as well.
Yeah, that'd be great if you could do that. I think we'll just go ahead and get us that list.
Okay. I apologize if I misspeak your name. Ziad?
Yeah, Ziad, no worries.
Ziad.
I'm just wondering, for professional services, who should we contact from EUA?
If you want to fill out the post-session survey and say that you're interested in those professional services, what I can do is we can make that connection for you with the EUA team and provide you with the right contacts there to connect to.
Great, thanks.
Juan Hernandez. Okay, no question there. I did see something pop up in the chat here in regards to our connection with MATC on this project. David is on the meeting session today and just wanted to put out there about the MATC apprenticeship program. And actually, David, if you would like to just talk a little bit about what you posted in the chat here for a minute, that would be awesome. If he's still on. Maybe he's not on anymore. Okay, well, I will talk for David then. So the MATC apprenticeship program is a group that we are partnering with on this project as well. To gain some involvement from the students coming out of their program and looking to engage in the trades. So in the meeting chat, David has provided a place on the MATC resource website that you can post any job openings that you do have for the trade services that MATC students will then see and can reach out to you if you are looking in some apprenticeship opportunities. And I know WRTP Big Step also can help with that engagement process as well as those students make that transition out of the MATC realm and into the workforce world. So we'll also send out that link to everybody following the meeting here, just in case you're not able to see the chat today. Do we have any other questions at this time?
One more. Is there code protection part for this project? or for window washing or for roof access?
Can you say that again? Sorry, you're breaking up.
Is there any fall protection part of this project? For protection equipment for window washing or for roof access?
For permanent installation?
Or example, lifelines or anchors?
That is likely a scope that will be needed as we do have work on the roof. If that's something that you specialize in, if you could include that information on your post-session survey, that would be very helpful, and we can make sure that that information is received by those who need to implement those systems on the project. Shavarte Johnson?
Yes, Shavarte Johnson. Hello, good morning. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. I just wanted to ask a question. My company, we provide preventative sterile solutions. We provide a sterilization process called electrostatic disinfection. With the whole COVID and everything that's going on, we hope that it's gone by the time that the project is over with. But we had a question. Is there a company that provides a service like that where there's a barrier that's added to the facility and the objects in the facility to protect anyone that's in the facility or that visits the facility for 14 to 28 days? We wanted to just ask that question and see if there was a service like that that you were looking for or would consider.
At this time, I am not sure that that's something that has been reviewed for this project, but with the current climate for COVID-19 is definitely something that our team could take an interest in learning a little more about and understanding if that's something that we could review with the J. Jeffers team, if it's something that they would want to include in the project. So if you could provide that information. I feel kind of like a broken record here about those surveys, but they really are the best way for us to keep the engagement going after this meeting and take the information that you guys have and provide that back to our project team, our owner team, the design team, and other subcontractors on the project.
Okay, thank you.
This is Bryce. I would just like to say thanks for offering that. When we talk about that shape or how the puzzle piece looks, that's not one that, we right now do that by going out and cleaning and all of that. But that is an opportunity, and that's exactly what we're trying to get out of this discussion here is understand where those possibilities are. So thanks for sharing that. And for all the others, if we don't necessarily get a chance to share it here online now, in that feedback, like Sam is saying, that's a great place for us to help understand how we can create those opportunities for engagement.
So that feedback survey will be coming out within about 24 hours. So we just need a little bit of time because included with that, we will give you a link to the video for this session. So we'll make sure that that's included in case you need to pop back into this recording and re-listen to a portion, etc., that we went through here today. And then if you could complete those surveys and get them back to us as soon as possible, we've got our team ready and waiting on standby to start helping make those connections and figure out the best way to get you involved on this project. That survey will come out as a SurveyMonkey link. So do want to make you all aware of that in this day and age of technology and always wary of clicking on things in emails. So that will come from SurveyMonkey and Nikki Lucci with our company. London Thomas, do you have a question?
I do. Can you hear me?
Yep.
I was wondering, do vendors already have to be pre-qualified with CG Smith? to take bids, or is that part of the process?
Oh, Bryce, go ahead. I cut you
Sure.
off.
We can jump in. So vendors do not need pre-qualification. So either if you're a vendor or a tier trade subcontractor, but if you want to do work directly for CG Schmidt, so if we're going to give you a contract, then yes, you do need to go through the pre-qualification process. For vendors, it's a little bit different, but still, that's important to get into our system and make it through that. And like we had discussed earlier, if you were here in that part of the presentation, we're here to help through that process. It's not meant to be a barrier. We're meant to understand the information and understand how we can work together as a team and how we can make things fit. Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, this is Yolanda with Why My Spot Cleanup. What is your definition between the vendors, the tier subs, and the professional service members?
So if I understand your question, so what is our definition, and really where that falls into is that concept of if there's going to be a contract issued directly to you as a company. So that would mean that is really a prime engagement there, and that requires pre-qualification. And obviously there's many other ways of getting involved. There can be, material services, there's other ways of obviously engaging where it's not necessarily as that prime engagement. So hopefully, does that answer your question, or how did I do?
You did really good. Because for my company, we would pretty much like to partner with the carpenter to come in for the cleaning up after the carpenters and prepping for the drywall to come in.
Understand.
And we're also looking to come in on the final detail cleaning.
Gotcha. Okay.
Thank you.
So,
Excuse me.
yeah,
Excuse me. I'm John Swanta with the Laborers Union. That's pretty much what the laborers do that. So if that person want to talk with the laborers and sit down with us, we can do that.
And what did you say your name was?
I'm John Swan with the Laborers Union.
All right.
Is this a labor job?
Who am I speaking with?
Hi there.
London,
This is
Thomas.
Wendy from Terminal Contractors.
Yes. Laborers perform that work, clean up.
Well, is this a labor requirement for the entire job?
They're signatory. CG Schmidt is signatory with the laborers, yes.
Okay. I mean, so anybody who's on the phone has to be signed up with Local 113 to be a part of this project?
You have to talk with CG Schmidt with that.
Yeah, this is Dan from CG Schmidt. So CG Schmidt is signatory to the Laborers Union, Carpenters Union, Cement Finishers, and the operators. So for those trades, they would be union. For the other ones, the client would like us to open it up to both union and non-union for all the other trades.
Okay. Because, I mean, I just think that, sometimes it's hard to meet those other type of initiatives, job creation, RPP requirements when you're holding the other subs or vendors to union standards.
Right. Yeah, and that's something we'll have to work through together on that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think part of the message there is to stay creative, and with those, I mean, that's a sensitive issue, as we've kind of just been talking about, but it just needs to be handled in the right way, and it needs to be at the right place in the right time. So don't take it as a no, but take it as we need to find the right way to engage, and if that's on-site, off-site, because there's off-site opportunities as well. So So keep keep active in trying to figure out how you can properly engage with the project.
Jody, you have a question?
Yes. I have a question about once you're pre-qualified, is that something that extends through all CG Schmidt jobs, or is that something you do each and every time with CG Schmidt?
So that does extend to all CG Schmidt jobs. So that's great. So that gets you, and that same building software, building connected software applies to almost all of our projects go through that system. So that gets you access to all of that good stuff. And then that is an annual item that gets refreshed. So that's how you keep active on the list. Yeah, so please work your way through the pre-qualification and get signed up.
Don Gordon. Do you have a question? Oh, must have answered it for him. I'm gonna give one last chance here for any questions as we wrap up. Do feel free if you think of something later on today or tomorrow. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Hi there, Sam, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Stelios with Gordon Solutions. Don Gordon had a question. He was muted. I'll bring him in here so he can ask his question.
Okay.
Because how he cannot get to. Okay, cool. Here's Don Gordon.
Hi. Back to the union question. So we're signatory to the carpenters and the glazers. How are the windows going to be looked at? Is this going to be a union project, or am I seeing that this is going to be open to non-union and union?
This is Dan at CG Schmidt. So trades that, just the way it stands right now, trades that we're signatory to, which are carpenters, laborers, cement finishers, and operators, would be union, and then everything else would be open to union and non-union.
How would you look at the window work?
The windows we typically look at as a glazing contractor, which we're not signatory to.
Okay.
Now the demolition of them would be, laborers, so that would be a little different. But if assuming glazers would be used to install them, so.
That does not mean, though, that we would not hire or would not be able to hire a union company to perform a scope of work that we are not union signatory to. We will.
Can you say?
We will consider union bids on scopes of work that we are non-signatory to as well.
Am I still on?
Yes.
So my question is, so I'll be competing against non-union bids for the window work?
Yes, there's a potential there.
Okay.
But part of our process when going through the bidding process is making sure that we've engaged every bidder who does provide a proposal on the project. This is one thing that I help to do as the bids come in, and provide that engagement to verify and go through and make sure that all bids are scoped 100% of the way through, and that everybody is accurately looking at that scope of work, and making sure that we are reviewing everything so that all bids are compared fairly.
Okay, thank you.
London Thomas, you have a question?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just so we're on the same page that it's going to be an apples to apples opportunity. Is there like prevailing wage? I mean, because it is going to make a difference if there's wage requirements that we need to meet, that changes everybody's number.
There are wage requirements. So right now that's described as the living wage. You could likely go on to the City of Milwaukee website to learn a bit more about that. If you'd like to know more currently, the specifics of the project will come out in the project manual. So you'll see that wage information included there.
Okay, I mean, because the city living wage is not union wage.
I understand, yes.
Okay, all right, just so we're on the same page.
Yep.
Okay, so I don't see any more hands raised at this time. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Oh, do we have one more?
One moment. For the window, are they gonna be double hung or single hung windows?
I honestly don't know the answer to that question off of the top of my head.
Okay, then that
but
squares away the next question then.
If you would like to shoot me an email, my email address is listed here on this question slide.
Yes.
That will also be shown in the project documents that do get released next week for the bid.
All righty.
Hello.
Thank you, Sam.
We have another question.
Yeah, this is Michael Rivera with Rivera and Associates, PR and Marketing. You mentioned that there's going to be a survey. So if I'm on the phone, I wasn't able to get to my laptop, but are we going to get the survey via email then to everyone who was on Teams as well as on the phone?
It will be to everybody who was on the Teams invite. So that original invite should have went out to your email, and that is the same email that the survey will be sent to.
Perfect. I just wanted to verify that. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, to keep us all on track this morning, I know we're all busy people. Make sure that we're getting off the line here as scheduled. If there are any follow-up questions, do not hesitate to reach out. Dan Director and my emails are both listed here. And you all have Nikki's contact information as well from your meeting invite. So if there are questions going forward, don't hesitate. Please send them through to us. And please watch your emails for the next day for that post-session survey. And looking forward to getting some feedback on those and taking the next steps with you all. On that note, I am going to shut this down now, and we will be in touch soon. Everybody have a great day.